Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have Eldlich Amazement. Amazement is a new archetype. This is a very interesting gimmick where they have trap cards which equip themselves to cards either you control or your opponent controls, and then they gain different effects depending on the controller of those monsters. So that is really cool, and the monsters are able to like change the equipped monster, which is another really cool gimmick. And I think that Eldlich can use this as a bit of a one-card engine, since they do have a starter and their traps are generally generic enough to just be used, because why not? So let's get started. First up, for our Eldlich engine, 2 copies of Golden Lord. That should come as no surprise. You don't really need any more than 2. The third one barely ever comes up, since Golden Lord is able to just recur itself from the graveyard. The 1 copy of Black Awakening and White Destiny. Black Awakening is decent because you don't even special summon during your turn, which is really cool. So Black Awakening is it does have a lot more value in this sense. Next we have the 1 copy of White Destiny. White Destiny is able to just recur your Eldlich monsters instead of having to just summon them from your deck. Like Sanguine, if you hard draw the Eldlich, then you can summon it from your hand with Destiny. It has a good bit of utility, so we run it. Triple Eldland, this is your main searcher for Eldlich and your Golden Land trap cards, which is your main disruptions. Triple Scarlet Sanguine, it's able to summon Eldlich from your deck during your opponent's turn, so you don't have to worry about your opponent like outing it earlier or anything. So it's definitely the most important Elixir. Next we have the Triple Conquistador. Conquistador is a pop if you control a Eldlich monster. Huaquero is it's a DD Crow if you control an Eldlich monster, so that is another really good card. And that's it for Eldlich engine. 17, no, well, it's not 17, it's 16 cards, so it's nice, compact, and you have a good bit of space to run your Amazements. First off, we have Amazement Administrator Arlecchino, or Arlecchino, I think it's Arlecchino. And it has 3 effects. First off, it's kind of like multi-faker, where if a trap card is activated, you can summon it from your hand. Next, it is if your opponent normal special summons a monster, you can equip an attraction trap from your deck to that monster. And all the attraction traps, as I said, have effects depending on the control of the monster. For example, Cyclone Coaster is able to search any of your Amazement monsters. Mystic Manege, you're usually not going to equip it to an opponent's monster. It literally does nothing, it just makes your opponent lose 500. Rapid Racing is also not that great against certain matchups, although this card is super decent against Virtual World, since you can just increase their level and they're not able to make VFD. They'll have to like waste extra resources to do that. And the Horror House is probably the best one. It is a DD Crow, which is super good. Although most of the time you do want to equip Cyclone Coasters, then it does give you the ability to generate follow-up, which is super strong. And its last effect is able to banish any number of attraction trap cards from your graveyard and then destroy monsters your opponent controls equal to number banished. So unfortunately, you're running one of everything except the Horror House, which you're running 2 of, since it easily goes to the graveyard. And you don't generally need them in the graveyard unless you have Befo in your hand, so being able to pop cards your opponent controls is super decent. Next we run Triple Comica. This is your main 1-card normal summon. It's able to just set any of your attraction trap cards, and those attraction trap cards, as I said, you can set Cyclone Coaster, which is either an MST or a search. Manege is able to protect your monsters, including Eldlich the Golden Lord, I'm pretty sure. Okay, no, it can only equip itself to an Amazement monster, my bad. But still, it is able to just protect your monsters and keep the pressure up because all of them have on-field effects. Rapid Racing is a DD Crow, and Horror House is an Imperm. So since you're able to just keep them on the field, having an Imperm every turn, having a Book of Moon every turn, having a DD Crow every turn, it's just really impressive, and the pressure really does start getting to your opponent. And as I said, Comica has another effect where you can target one of your attraction traps as equip to a monster and then equip it to another monster on the field. So you're able to change targets. So if it's equipped to an opponent's monster, you can equip it to your monster, and if depending on the situation, you do want to do that pretty often. If you're using Arlecchino, then if you equip something like a Rapid Racing to your opponent and you really want DD Crow, then you can just use Comica, equip it to one of your monsters, and then it becomes a DD Crow. Otherwise it wouldn't, which is a super good. Next, you run two Befo. You don't generally want to see this in your opening hand, but it definitely does come up if you're trying to go turn 3 or 5. So you do have to run 2 of it just so that you have good chance of drawing it in the grind game, and it just helps you grind better. It recurs your trap cards, which is super good, and it's able to bounce around your trap cards similar to Comica, where it's able to change the equipped monster, which is super good. There's not much to say about him, it's just your generic recursion monster. Next we have the most important card, Amazing Time Ticket. It's able to search any Amazement card from your deck during your turn, and it's able to set any of your attraction trap cards from your deck during your opponent's turn. So being able to just search everything in the archetype gives you so much versatility and extra consistency. You kind of just have to run 3 of it. Next we run the traps, 1 copy of Amazement Family Face. This is, I mean, it is a mind control, but I guess it does require you to have another attraction trap card, so you can't really make use of it if you don't have enough other cards. It just relies on too many other cards for it to be useful, so I am just running it on at a 1 of. Next we have Amaze Attraction Cyclone Coaster. This can, if it's equipped to your monster, you can target one spell trap your opponent controls, send both the Cyclone Coaster and it to the graveyard, and if it's equipped to your opponent's monster, you're able to search any Amazement card from your deck to your hand, and in both effects it just sends itself to the graveyard during the end, so it does kind of become better with Befo being able to recur it. And next we have 1 copy of Maze Attraction Majestic Manege. It's kind of like I'd say it's kind of like the Phantom Knight's Wing, where it gives a monster 500 attack, and it can't be destroyed by battle card effect once, which sends itself to the graveyard, which can sometimes be meh. So being able to give a monster 500 attack it's decent. It gives it protection, but you don't want to see it too much. It's just more of an extra convenient thing, so you're just a 1 of. Next we run the 1 copy of Amaze Attraction Rapid Racing. As I said, this is a DD Crow. If it's equipped to one of your monsters, if it's equipped to your opponent's monster, it's able to increase its level by 1, and it also changes its battle position. So that can come up against certain OTK decks, and it can definitely come up against Synchro decks. If you're up against a Virtual World, as I said, it's just a really good card, especially against that deck, since it is able to stop them from making VFD. As soon as they get 2 level 9s on field, you want to go ahead, activate Rapid Racing, and stop that right there. And if you want, you can just shuffle cards that you're putting in the graveyard. So if they have the Virtual World Trap, not Trap spell, you can shuffle it into the deck for free, which is another really good effect. Next we run a 2 Horror House. The reason I run 2, it's the best one. If it's equipped to one of your monsters, you're able to negate the effect of one monster your opponent controls, and if it's equipped to one of your opponent's monsters, you're able to flip it face down. The problem with the second effect is that when a monster is flipped face down, all of the equipped cards go to the graveyard, so it will be sent to the graveyard, which is a bit of a problem, even though it's a Book of Moon, which is why once again you want to run the 2 cups of Bufo so that you're able to just recur the Horror House. You might even consider running the field spell, but I just thought the field spell was too slow, and you had to wait till the end phase, so I thought the field spell was kind of meh, and being able to activate attraction trap cards was all during your turn also isn't that big of a deal, so I'm not running it. So that's it for our Amazement engine. Next for our hand traps, triple Ash Blossom, triple Extrav, you don't need the extra deck, and triple Imperm just as a final hand trap. These the Imperm and Ash can pretty much be anything you want. They're just generic hand traps. It can be Nibiru, although I don't really like Nibiru in the upcoming format, simply because Dino and Virtual World are going to be best deck, and Virtual World can easily just dodge Nibiru, so I'm not running that over here. Next we will have the extra deck, a triple Libe, triple Gustav Max. It's really funny to go Gustav Max for game. Trust me, you should do it. It's really satisfying. And Libe is also really good in case you're able to get 2 Golden Lords on the field, which is pretty often if you're burning 2 resources summoning cards from deck with Scarlet Sanguine. Next we run the 1 copy of Baguska. Baguska is mainly just because if you're able to get 2 Comicas on the field, and since it's a 3-op, you do have a decent chance of getting 2 of them. You're able to overlay into Baguska, and not a lot of other cards really care about being under Baguska, like Eldlich Golden Lord specifically, it doesn't care. So we run it. We run 1 access code to end games out of nowhere. The 1 BLS. BLS is decent, you know. Since you do run your fair share of level 7 or higher monsters, it can become practically a dragoon, and there aren't a lot of well, Dino can't out BLS if you use its effect to gain 1500 attack, so they can't out BLS. They cannot out BLS if well, Ultra guys can out it, Guru can't out it, basically no control deck can out it, so it's really good to have. On top of that, it's able to get pressure, being able to banish one card on the field every turn, which is super great. Next we run triple unicorn, triple phoenix, just extra generic cards. It can be whatever you want. The extra deck, since you barely care about it, it can just be tailored to whatever you like, so that's another great thing. And that's the deck, I suppose. It's really consistent, just being able to use it as a one card engine with Comica, and the Amazement deck can just put up an insane amount of pressure, being able to just imagine yourself getting Book of Moon to turn 1, then you get Book of Moon and negated, then you get Book of Moon and DD Crowed, then you get Book of Moon and mind controlled. It's just a really insane deck, and being able to pressurize your opponent that much isn't not a lot of people can really come back from that. So that is kind of my Amazement deck. I just decided to run one of each of them, since they are they do kind of require extra amazements on the field, and Comica is just the best one, and it searches everything as a normal summon. And I guess that is the deck. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That really does help the channel, and it helps the YouTube algorithm find my videos faster. So don't forget to do that, and I'll say goodbye now. See ya.